I can't believe this movie is 20 years old. It feels like it was just yesterday that I went to go see it with a friend of mine in the theater, having really no expectations of what I was going to witness. Just hearing a few things from critics at the time that I really admired. Siskel and Ebert gave this movie 2 amazing thumbs up. And it was a film that nobody was really talking about other than a few critics. And I just went to go see it because it looked really good. It had Stephen King attached to it. And I walked in there, I remember seeing the trailer a few times, but I walked in there really having no idea what I was going to witness. The film I'm talking about, of course, is The Shawshank Redemption, which tonight, I actually got to see again for the first time in the theaters since I saw it 20 years ago in the theaters. Of course, I've seen it on DVD, on television, on video, millions of times, but this is the first time I've been to the theaters to see it again since it got released in 1994. Of course, for most people, the film was discovered on video and on cable, because really, when I saw this movie in the theater for the first time, I actually saw it on the same day that I saw Ed Wood in 1994. I remember me and my friend saw that movie together. Nobody was in the theater. And then when we saw The Shawshank Redemption, nobody was barely in the theater. And I felt like at times I was the only one really talking about this movie. I felt like I was the only one who actually seen it in my group of friends, in my family, and the people that I associated with. You know, so it wasn't until like the following year when it got nominated for 7 Academy Awards, I believe. It didn't win any awards, but it got nominated, and that was such a relief, and it was great news. And thanks to cable and VHS cassettes, this movie, for most people, it's the greatest movie ever made. For some people, it might be in their top 10. It might be the greatest film they've ever made. It's definitely in my top 100. If I ever compile a list of my top 100, it's going to be closer to number 1. It's going to be down there somewhere. I had a great opportunity to see this movie again. I didn't go see it with anybody. I wish my dad was here, because this is a film that actually my dad really loves. He wasn't able to make it, but it's a film that we can bond with because he's not really into movies. So it's really nice when he's actually into a film that I absolutely love and he loves, and we can talk about it. We can talk about our feelings. And it's a movie that's going to be around forever. It's a movie that's going to be talked about forever, and I know it's going to be in the theaters again. And I hope that if I have the chance, I'll get to go see it with my dad. And my mom actually likes this movie too. She's not really a fan of R-rated films, but this is one of her favorite movies of all time. And I think it's because of the universal message this movie has. It's a message that is for everyone. So you can, forget the violence and the language just for 2.5 hours and appreciate such an amazing film with rich characters and a story that's completely timeless. A story that came from a short novel from horror director Stephen King, to my surprise. That was one of the biggest surprises I remember seeing it, because I still do love to listen to Stephen King. But read Stephen King. And I've gotten through portions of Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemptions, but I've never actually read it. And I think now that I've witnessed it again in the theater, I think I should get off my ass and read the novel. It's about 100 pages long, and I have 2 copies of it. I gotta read it. It's incredible. So watching this film again just brought back so many memories of going to see this film for the very first time and really not expecting anything, and then being blown away. I love the acting. First I want to talk about Frank Darabont and his writing and directing. It's what turned me on to him for the first time. Probably a lot of people. Of course, he's gone on to bring The Walking Dead to life from the comics, and then of course give us The Green Mile, The Majestic, and contributed to a lot of other films. Just fabulous directing by him, and of course the acting by Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. And I believe his name is John Whitmore, who plays Brooks. There's so many rich characters that are in this movie. Clancy Brown. First time I remember really seeing Clancy Brown in a movie, and now he's one of my favorite actors. I would love to see him in more roles. I know he contributes lots of his time to smaller roles and SpongeBob SquarePants, which is cool. But there's just so many other characters that William Sadler is a great character actor that's also in this film. It's a wonderful cast of a lot of beautiful people, and beautiful actors and well, there's not a lot of actresses actually. Maybe there was one in there somewhere, but it's a bunch of actors in this film because it's dealing with a prison full of men. And you know, you get to see this period of time, and they shot it in this beautiful location, which I don't think exists anymore. But it's just it looks so great, and I bet not a single bit of CGI was in this movie, and it shows. It's around the time when CGI was definitely coming out and about. It was the mid-90s. So it just feels so authentic, so real. I forget I'm watching a movie. This movie is just so incredible and amazing. I actually have 3 scenes that I want to talk about really quick, so please bear with me. I would say they're my 3 top scenes that I love. I do want to definitely after that talk about the incredible ending, because I think it's one of the greatest third acts and one of the greatest endings in cinema history. And hopefully most people have already seen this movie that are watching this video. But let's first talk about the my 3 favorite scenes that are in this film. Number 3 would have to be the scene where Andy Dufresne finally gets all the books that he's been writing letters to on a weekly basis. He finally gets all the books, and he gets a bunch of records. So he has the opportunity to lock himself away in this room into where the mic is at, and put this beautiful music by Mozart on the mic for everybody to hear. And everybody's just quiet, they're listening to the music. And as an audience member who loves Mozart and just loves that scene so much, I tear up. It's just so amazing to actually not, put yourself in the shoes of not getting the chance to hear this beautiful music or anything. And then all of a sudden it's there. And of course it stays with Andy Dufresne because he goes to goes in the hole, so it's in him, it's in his heart. So the great thing about music is that we hear it, but it's still with us. Hopefully if it's good music, it stays with us instead of the bad music. The second scene that I absolutely love, I like when the movie kind of steps away, because of course this is Red and Andy Dufresne's story, mainly Red, this is mainly Red's story, but the movie steps away just for about 5 to 10 minutes, and we really get to know Brook in his final moments. It's just a special scene, he's been in this prison for so long, and he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. Like, it is so tragic and so thought-provoking for me to think like, I have this opportunity to go anywhere in the world. I might as well take it, because Brook never understood that, and now his character is lost and confused and bewildered, that he just can't deal with it. And it's just a touching scene where the movie just steps out of the main story and goes into Brook and tells about his final moments in his life. Beautiful scene. And I have to say my top scene in the entire film would have to be the scene where they're all on the roof, and they've all been given the job to pave the roof with tar. And Andy Dufresne, Tom Robbins, overhears Clancy Brown, who's the leader of the pack of guards that take over Shawshank. He hears that he has just inherited $35,000, I believe, $35,000 or $3,500, whatever. He just inherited a lot of money, and he's just like worried that the government's going to take all of it. Well, Andy Dufresne steps up and tells him, "Hey, I can help you save that money, so the government, the IRS, can't take it." And I love that scene, because that's the scene I feel, for me, that's the scene where the movie finds itself. And that's where, from there, the ball just rolls. Red and Andy become friends, and we find out that Andy is smarter than he looks. That he is a genius, that he understands the world, and that he's probably in the prison for the wrong reasons. I really don't want to give anything away, but I really do love the ending of this film. I just want to touch upon the ending of this movie. It's incredible. The music by Thomas More that rises up, that doesn't feel like it's in your face, but it's just there on the surface. Thomas Newman. I mentioned Thomas Newman in his beautiful score that I believe was nominated. But I just love that whole scene of, you think the movie's over, and like, oh, Andy's gonna rot in prison, and then it just surprises me. I mean, I remember seeing it for the first time, and it surprised the hell out of me. I did not expect that at all, and where it goes with Red, and I just love it. It's to me one of the greatest third acts, one of the greatest final sequences greatest final 30 minutes of a movie that I've ever seen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, good, because then you can go watch The Shawshank Redemption and find out for yourself. This is an amazing movie. It was nominated for multiple Academy Awards, and it won nothing. And now today, it is considered one of the greatest movies ever made. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I was so honored to see it again in the theater. I love this film. I highly recommend it. If you have not seen The Shawshank Redemption from 1994, it's a 20-year-old film that feels like it was made just yesterday. I love the Shawshank Redemption. I highly recommend it. Thank you for sharing your time with listening to me share my memories about the movie, and I love the film so very much. I'm MovieManCHAD. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook, and please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. Also go to Long Beach Acting and Film Association right here on Facebook and Twitter. Please also go to MoviePilot.com, and if you've enjoyed this video review of the Shawshank Redemption, I highly recommend you see the film, and also please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I had a really good time seeing the film tonight, talking about it with you, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I wish you all the best in 2014 and years to come. Thank you so much, and if you're having a bad day, watch this film. It'll definitely give you so much hope and fill you with so much love and redemption. The Shawshank Redemption. Perfect title for a perfect film. Peace be with you, my friends. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Get busy living, or get busy dying.